All right, welcome back to Brian's Art of Creation, Monday morning. Hope you guys are juiced, excited, ready for this week, ready to make it the best week you have. And to help you guys out with that, this week what I wanted to do was help you guys with getting more productive and doing that by learning to master your schedule. So for me, where it all started was I've always looked into, different areas of my life, getting better sleep and, the more productive time and how to make the most out of my hours and things like that. And over time, there's a few things that have stuck out and there's a few things that have worked. So I'm going to go through and just kind of give you a basis of how to kind of handle that or how to work with that. So for me, it started with trying to find what I call your prime time. Everybody out there is going to try to say that they don't have enough time in the day and they don't have enough time to accomplish this. And the truth is that every single one of you guys out there, you could wake up 2 hours earlier and you would have 2 hours more every single day. The problem that lies with that is if you're not really a morning person, those 2 hours, it might take you those 2 hours to do something that you might have been able to complete in a half hour. When you are actually ready to work and motivated and everything and awake. So what you have to do is be able to look at yourself and decide and figure out, are you one of those person that does better in the morning? Are you more creative in the afternoons? Are you more creative at night? Do you do late nights better? Are you an early riser? And kind of look at your schedule and say, when am I most awake, most inspired, and most productive? And is there a way that I can look at everything that I have in that block and either get rid of it or shift it to another area to where I don't need that focus? So in other words, if I'm playing video games, if I'm more productive in the evening hours, and I'm watching TV or playing video games, can I cut that out so that I can actually spend time on my creativity? Or if you're doing something like doing the laundry or washing dishes, those things still need to get done. However, do they need to get done in your most productive time? Can I say, you know what, I'm going to do that a little bit earlier. That way I have this time slot open and I can actually create and go after that. So that's the first thing that I want you guys to think about. And as you're thinking about that, you're also going to look into what works better for you depending on your schedule and, your job and your family priorities and things that you got going on. And there's going to be a difference between whether you want to work at night or whether you're going to be working in the morning. Now, if you listen to a lot of the business people, a lot of the gurus and everything out there, you're going to hear a lot of them talk about, waking up early. A lot of them wake up super early. They'll wake up 5, 6 a.m. Some of them even earlier than that. The thing that always got me when I was listening to them, though, is they always stressed, I wake up early because nobody else is awake at this morning. So, I don't get interrupted and I can create full focus. However, the thing that I always looked at is I'm like, you don't necessarily have more time in the morning, because if you wake up at 5 and if you're lucky, nobody else wakes up till 9, you still only have a maximum of 4 hours of work time. And that's if you actually are awake at 5 and ready to go and dressed and everything. Whereas if you're working at a nighttime, when I was doing my nighttime shift, because I was working all day during the day, I would start at like 11 and I'd be able to go until like 4 or 5 and I'd still have an extra free range more time if I wanted to. So that's what always got me confused when I was looking into that. The thing that only a few of them touch on and really makes the most impact about doing mornings is that you wake up and you have a full cup. And nothing, the wear and tear of the day hasn't hit you or drained you down. So you have this full cup in the morning, and by lunchtime you can get into that mode of feeling so accomplished because you've already done so much that day and you still have the full day to yourself. Whereas if you wait till later on, you have a lot of the things that happen during the day that kind of wear you down, and you might not have your full energy to get as much done as you might have been able to do in the morning. However, that does work for some people, and I have tried that method, and right now I kind of do mornings and nights, so I kind of have a blend of both, just because of the way that I work and the way that my schedule works. But the other thing about nights is, if you can channel it the right way, there's a lot of people that get that extra boost of energy, somewhere around, for me, it's around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And I've never been that person that's been able to really go to bed before 11 or 12. And usually I go to bed around 1 or 2 in the morning. So for me, what happens is I get that extra boost of energy at night, and I'm just still so I can bring myself to be so excited and so pumped to actually get more work done at night. And at night there's nobody awake to bother me, and you have even more time to where you just go in there, you create, and until you actually get finished. So again, this is all going to depend on how your body works and how you are personally. Some people are night owls, some people are early risers. But for me personally, what I do is, because of the fact that right now I'm working at a restaurant, I wake up and do around 7 or 8, and I have my personal time, my meditation, and I do my workout and gym time, and then I jump right in and I go ahead and start working and doing some of my I'll do some of my marketing stuff, and I'll get into some of my sculpture in the afternoon. I'll do my work, I'll go to work and usually work the night shift from like 4 to 10:30 or something. But then me walking around and moving around, I'm still energized and excited when I get home, because it gives me that push of, I know I want to do better and I want to get past, the circumstances that I have in life now and working a restaurant job, to where I come home and I just get creative. However, I've also determined and learned that I need to keep moving, because if I come home and I take a break and I kind of eat or I lay down and just take a quick rest, I'm done for the night and I can't get back up. It just kind of shuts me down. So what I do is I right after I come home, I keep moving. I just keep moving and say, all right, this is what I got to work on next. I'll grab a drink or something, but I stay up and I stay moving. That way my body keeps the energy that it has. And then when I hit the bed, I just knock out. I basically just, it takes me a little while to go to sleep still, but my body just relaxes and just is done for the day. So next up is, after you start deciding when your prime time is and what the best time for you to work is, look into, when you start deciding on how you're going to schedule yourself, look into the type of person that you are and how you like things set up. For me, I like being super organized, and the best way that I get to sleep and get to wake up and have the best days is that if I can look at it at night and know exactly what I'm doing the next day, to where I have A, B, and C, and I'm going to be doing this for an hour, and then this for an hour, and then this for an hour, and I'm going to be done. And that just gets me into state for when I wake up. I'm just ready to go, and I know exactly what's gotta happen. If I don't have it planned out, it's like me looking at Netflix and trying to figure out a movie. You sit there for 10, 15 minutes going through the the list and stuff, and then you still don't find nothing. And it just turns out to be a lot of wasted time for me. So that's why I like to have everything scheduled out and planned, so that I know exactly what I'm going to do for the following day. And that helps me get a lot better sleep. And I'm just ready to go when I actually wake up. I'm more motivated and more juiced to just get started and jump in there. The other thing, though, is that when things happen or fall out of place, I kind of get lost, and I get back into that mode of, I'm not sure what I need to work on because a few things kind of happened, or I didn't get something finished. So I like to also leave empty time to where I kind of have catch-up days, to where they're scheduled off or scheduled molding days, but I can have a few hours in there to catch up just in case I messed up on something or something came up and I had to do something else or something, you know, any kind of life circumstances got in the way. And that just keeps my sanity up there to where I'm able to still stay super organized, but I have buffer time to help in to where, you know, if I don't get something accomplished or something comes up. The other thing, because me actually saying this, it sounds a little complex. However, the way I have it laid out, and I'm going to try to explain it in a more simpler version, which gets me to another topic. When you start building things out and start building how you're going to work and how you're going to keep your ideas and things organized, try to come up with the simplest possible way you can. Because the more complex, and I know how we are as artists, we try to make it these really super intricate ways of working and things, and it never works out, because when it gets too complex, we can work it out when we first start, but then it gets really tiring, and our mind just starts to see it as too much work, or we get lost and can't figure something out, and then we just kind of fall off the horse and everything kind of unravels and we fall down. So if there's a way that you can make it as simple as possible, then that's what I would say, go for it, do it. For me, what I do is I looked at my schedule and I figured out how many hours of work I have a week, or how many hours I'm able to do. I'm able to at least do 28 to 30 hours a week. I shoot for more, but I know that's kind of my base and my minimum working around everything. So what I do is I schedule out projects that'll fill 30 hours a week. And then I just kind of go down the list and kind of plug them in by the day. That way I can look at the day and know exactly what needs to get done. And if I get it done, I can work on more. I know exactly where to go from there, or I know where to start the next day. And that's the simplest way that I've been able to find for me personally, and that's what works for me now. So I have a weekly list, and I'll usually try to schedule 1 or 2 weeks, and then the night before or 2 nights before, I'll work in what I'm actually going to do for the day. That way, if anything shifts or anything like that, I haven't figured out the entire week in detail, so I can kind of shift things towards the end of the week. The other thing it also helps me do is if I feel like cramming and I just get one of those super motivated days, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I feel like going extra hard, I can knock out, you know, more of a majority of the list, and I can have more free time towards the end of the week. Or if I got an event going on towards the end of the week, I know I have to cram a little bit more and work a little bit harder during the beginning of the week. So that's where that allows me to kind of be a little more flexible in my schedule. But definitely keep it simple, because when it's complex, it's one of those things to where it's just going to be on your mind and you're not going to complete it. One awesome example I heard from one of the interviews with people, and looking into like psychology and the way that people think, one of the perfect examples is everybody that tries to, with New Year's resolutions, or people just trying to work out, getting in better shape. You'll listen to some people and they'll be like, I wanted to, but it just didn't work out for me. And then when you actually listen to why, you know, they start giving you a list and telling you, well, I was trying to, but then, you know, when I thought about it, I had to, you know, I would have to go and look at different gyms. I'd have to go and test out different gyms, and then sign up for a membership fee, and then start paying a membership fee every month. And then when I actually started doing it, I would have to, you know, the night before I'd have to put out all my gym clothes. I'd have to drive over there. I'd have to get changed in my gym clothes. I'd have to go on the machines, learn how to use them, start figuring out how I want to work out, blah, 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 figure out how I want to eat better and start working on my diet. And then I'd have to, you know, take a shower and get into my regular clothes and then drive all the way back home. And when they think about it this way, there's just so much there that it overwhelms them, and that's why a lot of people give up. But the funny thing is that when you ask them, you know, what happens when they go to the beach, there's no thought. It's super simple. They say, I just get my stuff and I go. I just drive up there and have a great day. The fact is, they still have to drive out there. They still have to put all their clothes together, their bathing suit, their towel. They still have to find a spot on the beach, find a parking spot, drive all the way there. They still have to, take a shower afterward, get all the sand out of their hair, drive all the way back home. They still have to go through a lot of the same process, and there's a lot of the things there. It's just that because of the fact that they're focused on the activity and actually going to the beach, they don't put into detail all the things that actually has to go into it. So therefore, it's a lot simpler of a process. So it's a lot easier to go to the beach than it is to go to the gym, because they haven't made it so complex. So think about that when you're trying to figure out how you want to work, and even the steps it takes you to actually create your artwork. If you can do it in a lot simpler steps, it'll help you out easier. But definitely with your schedule, make it as simple as possible, and it'll work so much easier and so much better for you. So, one last thing for you guys. Hopefully you guys are learning a lot and it's getting you into a mindset of creating. Another thing to think about and to kind of break up the way that you work and think about the way that you work is to actually look at how you go about your day and the things that you actually have going on, and realize that you actually do have a lot of time in your day. Even if you work a full-time job, even if you have a family, there's a few different ways from a couple different mentors that I've learned, and here's a couple of them. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day, and a lot of people can get off with doing 6 hours of sleep. So that leaves 18 hours every single day. If you work a full-time job, that's 8 hours. All right, we're going to say 8.5 usually, because you got the half hour for lunch, and then we're going to give you an hour and a half commute, which will bring you up to 8.5, 9, 10 hours. All right, 10 hours. That's with 45-minute commute both ways. And then we're going to say 3 hours. We're going to say 4 hours for your family time. Spending time with the family, having dinner, all that good stuff every single day. And then we're also going to say 2 hours. Another 2 hours for just getting ready, in between time, relaxing, whatever. That's 16 hours. You still have 2 hours every single day. So, with 45-minute commute and an 8-hour day, full 8-hour day, plus spending 4 hours a day every single day with your family, which a lot of people still don't and don't find the time to do, plus 2 hours just for you. With all of that going on, you still have 2 hours every single day to actually go out there, get creative, and build that dream that you have. 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, is 10 hours every single week. There's a lot you can accomplish. We're not even including the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So think about that. Think about the fact that there are 18 hours every single day, and start thinking about what you can do with those. Another way to put this into perspective, or another way to think about it, is thinking about how you have 3 full days every single day. Starting at, depending on what time you want to start at, but 6 to 12 is a 6-hour shift. 12 to 6 is another 6-hour shift. And then 6 to midnight is another 6-hour shift. You can play around with the exact hours, but those are 3 full work days that you have every single day. That 1 or 2 or part of 1 that you can put into and start getting your creative stuff out there. Start pushing your brand, start pushing, your creativity, and start pushing and building that dream that you have. Everybody will try to say that they don't have enough time, or any version of that, but yet there's a lot of those people that can tell me exactly what happened on the newest episode of The Walking Dead, or the newest episode of Game of Thrones, or the Sons of Anarchy, or whatever. It's okay if you want to watch those shows and if it's something that you enjoy. However, understand that you can't complain that you don't have enough time to build your dream or to do the things that you love to do when you are spending your time doing other things. So, hopefully this helps. I hope you guys learned a little bit. If you guys have any questions at all, or you need help trying to figure out the little nuances, or if there's other tips that you guys have for how you guys get your productivity, how you've discovered how to work your schedule in the best way, please let me know. Leave a comment. I would love to help you guys out. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and let's get creative and go out there and have fun. Thank you for watching.